Meeting's called to order at 6:31. Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Here.
Art Mannix.
Here.
Paul Moy.
Here.
Rod Renada.
Here.
James Coffey.
Here.
Rick Collins. Here.
Okay, let the record show Mr. Bassett is absent. Daughter's wedding. Okay. Resolution 12204, approved minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of June 18th and June 25th, 2012 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
So moved.
Councilor Renada. Second by Councilor Lemoy. Discussion? Roll call?
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Mannix.
Yes?
Paul Moy.
Yes.
Rod Renada.
Yes.
The time of the meeting where we provide the public with an opportunity to address the board. Anyone wishing to speak is asked to state their name and their address. There not being anyone requesting, we move forward. And just so that it's a matter of record, we're not seeking to set any records tonight with our meeting. Although we may whisper into the supervisor's ear that there was less discussion than normal. Resolution 12206, Building Maintenance and Safety Committee Monthly Report. Oh, 5. Excuse me.
Abstract 7A.
Thank you. Right here. Resolution 12205, Abstract 7A.
Resolved that the abstract is out of the claims number 7A-12, 1320 to 1440 for $192,677.51. And abstract 7A-12, 280 to 296 prepays in the amount of $416,546. Be received as reviewed by the audit committee. The supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Motion?
So moved.
Councilor Wood.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Lemoy. Any discussion? All those in favor, excuse me. Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Mannix.
Yes.
Paul Moy.
Yes.
Rod Renada.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 12206, Building Maintenance and Safety Committee Monthly Report.
Resolved to receive and place on file a report from Art Bro, Building and Maintenance Supervisor for the month of June 2012.
So moved.
Motion by Councilor Renada, seconded by Councilor Lemoy. Discussion. Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Mannix.
Yes.
Paul Moy.
Yes.
Rod Renada.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 12207, authorizing the Highway Superintendent to start the 2012 paving program.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh has appropriated a total of $294,000 in the 2012 highway budget for the 2012 road paving program. Whereas James Wood, Highway Superintendent, and the Highway Committee have submitted the 2012 highway road paving program, identifying the town's roads that are in the greatest need of repair with a total estimated cost of $279,000. And whereas funding for the 2012 road paving repair and improvement program is to be taken from DA 5110-4200 and DA 5112-4200 and CHIPS account. Now therefore be resolved that the town of Plattsburgh Town Board does hereby authorize the Highway Superintendent to spend the appropriated funds to implement the aforementioned 2012 road paving program, with the town paving to take place on the roads as recommended by the Highway Superintendent and the Highway Committee. And it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the budget officer and to the highway superintendent.
Motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilor Wood, and a second by Councilor Lemoy. Discussion? Just by way of note, the listing that was prepared by Highway Superintendent Wood, listed Della Boulevard, and Della Boulevard has been removed from the listing. There's a construction project scheduled for there, and we'll wait until that's over with before we'll do that. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Paul Lemoyne?
Yes.
Gerard Renadette?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 12208, Macy Lane District Water Supply Agreement.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Water and Wastewater Director has been approached by the town of Schuyler Falls to help remedy their needs for water district administration and maintenance for Macy Lane. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh and Schuyler Falls have cooperated in a provision for the water system operation for the other districts in the town of Schuyler Falls, and the town of Plattsburgh continues to have a surplus of treated water, with the portability of said surplus being available for the foreseen future. And whereas after a lengthy study and consideration, the town's engineer and water and wastewater director recommended said request. Now therefore be resolved that upon acceptance and approval of the town of Plattsburgh's attorney, the attached water supply agreement between the town of Plattsburgh and the town of Schuyler Falls for the Macy Lane Water District be approved. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the budget officer and to the town of Schuyler Falls.
Motion?
So moved.
Councilor Renadette, second by Councilor Lemoy. Discussion?
There's one thing in here that I can't believe that we missed, but Mr. Wood and I both saw it, and we talked about it before the meeting. Terms of the contract, number one, it says the terms of the contract commences on the date of this agreement, the second day of June 2012. Can we have the language state something to the effect of the terms of this contract commences on the date of the signing of this agreement and ends on the 31st of December 2015?
No problem. It does say though, I mean, as far as date of signing, it does say, if that's the case, you'd have to change the beginning where it says the agreement's made the second day of July 2012. And so that's on the first page, and it's also one other place in there that it does say that for July 2nd, so we would have to make them all agree.
I would agree with that also. I think that's the only thing that really is not clear.
Well, not clear for people like you. For me, there's that renewed 1-year basis, not a 2-year basis. But I think that was explained, so.
I think if we take out the date at the beginning and let it stand on the reference that the effective date would be the date when it's been signed by both parties.
Right.
And I'm assuming that Councilor Lemoy is in agreement?
Yes.
With those changes?
Yep.
That's the second of the motion. Any other discussion?
The only thing we need to do is we need to add Scott Stoddard to the list.
We should have, at the end of the resolution, Ricky, we want to say a copy be given to Budget Officer, Town of Schuyler Falls, and Scott Stoddard, Water and Wastewater Director.
If there's another line, it's fine. There was, I thought there was.
Yeah, maybe, I'll look for changes.
Okay, so it would only be the date that I found that was incorrect, that's all. Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Manick?
Yes.
Paul Lemoyne?
Yes.
Gerard Renadette?
Yes.
I'd just like to make a comment. It's been a long time putting this together, and as complex as it was for us, I'm sure it was equally complex for Schuyler Falls, but I think we've moved to get this in place, and it will benefit the residents of the Macy what will be the Macy Lane Water District. And it will have benefit to the residents of the town of Plattsburgh as it will generate revenue in our water, wastewater department.
And it's also a demonstration that we have been working with the other municipalities, and we are trying to consolidate services and share services.
Resolution 12209, Beekman School Bus Lease Agreement for Town of Plattsburgh Recreation Programs.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Recreation Program provides opportunities for youth during the summer to participate in numbers of programs throughout the municipality. Whereas transportation in the rural communities will often prevent youth from participating in recreational programs. And the Beekman Town Central School District is willing to enter into an agreement with the Town of Plattsburgh to provide buses for summer youth programs. Now therefore be resolved that the town board does hereby approve the school bus lease agreement between Beekman Town Central School District as the leaseor and the Town of Plattsburgh as the leasee to lease buses for the youth recreational purposes commencing on the 25th day of June and ending on the 31st day of September 2012. For 3 school buses described in said lease, subject to the rental of no consideration, but subject to the terms of the conditions set forth in said lease. And it be further resolved that after review by the town attorney, the supervisor is hereby authorized to execute said lease for the town of Plattsburgh, and he is directed to obtain and initiate compliance with all other terms and provisions of said lease agreement. Excuse me. At an agreed rate of $1.87 per mile. And it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the budget officer, recreation director, and Beekman Town School District and Cool Insurance.
I'll move that for the purpose of discussion.
Councilor Renadette, seconded by Councilor Lemoy.
Jerry, before you start, I actually was thinking about this as we walked out here. If we, in the second resolve, put that after review and approval of the town attorney, we authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement, we would solve all the problems.
Yeah.
And we could actually pass this tonight, so if next week the language gets cleared up in the agreement and Jim approves with the language and he signs off on it, then the supervisor could sign.
Yeah, you can do it contingent upon.
I have no problem with that, but based on the language that we discussed at the work session, and it's my understanding that has not been changed.
Well, now the question hasn't been changed. I attempted to contact the attorney. I believe it's Joe Orlando, and he hasn't been available. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's not like there's opposition to it that I'm aware of, but we could pass this contingent upon the town of Beacon Town and the school district and the town coming to an agreement.
And that will take care of the clause in here that says that we're liable for things that happen.
Well, each party would be liable for its own negligence, that's correct.
Because
As long
we're
as
getting the
that-
buses and we're driving them, but we're
That's correct.
As long as that
Maintained
language is
under
in
the-
the finished copy, I have no problem with
Okay.
passing it. And we are using the buses right now, so we don't want to send the message out that we want to discontinue that service. We're willing to work with them, but we need to make sure that whoever's liable is the person who accepts liability, not pass it all off to one person.
so that
I
so
agree with that.
we can do it as is if you
Yeah, it's just it's contingent upon our coming to an agreement, yeah.
It's a vote of confidence in our town attorney.
I don't know about that.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Danick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renner.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 12210, the Agricultural and Industrial Affairs of Clinton County, Inc.
Whereas the town clerk has received an application with fee for a license to conduct and operate a place of public amusement within the town of Plattsburgh, namely the Agricultural and Industrial Fair of Clinton County Incorporated at the Clinton County Fairgrounds. Whereas said applicant received issuance of a New York State Certificate of Inspection by the Code Enforcement Officer indicating all full compliance and a check for the application fee in the amount of $600, which has been submitted to the town clerk's office. Now therefore be resolved that after review of the certificate of insurance, naming the town of Plattsburgh as an additional insured, the town clerk is hereby authorized to issue said license for a period from Monday, July 17th through Sunday, July 22nd, 2012. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the budget officer, codes officer, and pool insurance.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Lemoy,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Wood. Discussion. Roll call?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Moy,
Yes.
Gerard Redendez.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 12-211. S. Vital Pyrotechnic Industries, Inc. display fireworks.
Whereas Espetal Pyrotechnics Industries Incorporated has duly submitted to the town board, town of Plattsburgh, an application for a permit for a public display of fireworks on July 17, 2012 to take place at the Clinton County Fairgrounds situated along Route 22B in the town of Plattsburgh. And whereas the town is not required to collect a fee for granting of such permit. Whereas the town board has determined that with the receipts of an adequate bond in the amount of $1 million being approved by the applicant, a commercial general liability insurance policy and a minimum amount of $1 million for each occurrence, and general aggregate coverage in the minimum amount of $1 million, with the town being named as an insured on the policy. And upon the town attorney approving the application and liability insurance coverage as this form, and the Clinton County Fairgrounds as controlling agency of the land in which the public display of the fireworks is going to be held, also having approved of the granting of said application by the town. Now therefore be resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to issue the required permit for the public display of fireworks by the applicant on Tuesday, July 7, 2012 at the Clinton County Fairgrounds, upon the town attorney approving said application as complying with the conditions and requirement of section 405 of the penal law. And then be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the budget officer, codes officer, and pool insurance.
So
Motion by Councilor Renadette,
Second.
seconded by Councilor Lemoy.
The last day should be July 17th.
Yeah, that was good.
yeah, so that's-
Rick, in that first resolved, there's a date Tuesday, July 7th, and it should say Tuesday, July 17th. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Moy,
Yes.
Gerard Redendez.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 12-212. Contract number 2, master meters from Morrisonville Water District, periodic estimate payment number 4.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh previously awarded East National Water LLC a bid to provide customer water meters for the Morrisonville Water District in Schuyler Falls. Whereas LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group and Scott Stoddard, Director of the Water and Wastewater Department, have reviewed periodic estimates for payment number 4 of the purchase and installation of 11 cold water meters and recommends them as indicated. Therefore, it be resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to make payment for periodic estimate number 4, dated June 1st, 2012, in the amount of $7,293, less 5% retainage of $364.65, making a total amount requested of $6,928.35 as payment to East National Water LLC, P.O. Box 991, Palmer, Mass. 01069. Excuse me. And it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution with the executed periodic estimate number 4 be given to the budget officer, LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group, East National Water LLC, and the Director of the Water and Wastewater Department.
Motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Moy, second.
Second.
Second by Councilor Renadette. Discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Yes. Carried.
Excuse me.
Resolution 12-213.
Would it help if we read one of those?
How about,
Okay.
Go ahead.
okay, 3% construction deposit performance guarantee for Lyman Salvage Site Plan 2011.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements of the Lyman Salvage Site Plan for 2011. And whereas Lyman Salvage Site Plan 2011 has on file with the Town of Plattsburgh a 3% deposit performance guarantee for construction of the project in the original amount of $828.22 plus accrued interest. And whereas the Planning Department has coordinated inspection and said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed. Whereas Lyman Salvage Site Plan 2011 has requested that the 3% deposit in the amount of $828.22 plus accrued interest to date be returned. Now therefore be resolved that the supervisors are authorized and directed to release said deposit in the amount of $828.22 plus accrued interest to date. And it be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the Planning Department Secretary with the return of the deposit to Mr. Ricky Lyman Sr., 28 Flanagan Drive, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901.
Motion?
So many.
Councilor Renadette,
Second.
second by Councilor Wood. Discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Paul Lemoy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 12-214, Clinton County Snow and Ice Agreement for 2012-2013, 2013-2014, 2014 and 2015 snow seasons.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh currently provides snow and ice control services to Clinton County for county roads during the winter season. And whereas Clinton County Highway Superintendent met with the town highway superintendent, where it was determined that the town would enter into an annual snow and ice agreement with the county for the purpose of providing snow and ice control services. Now therefore be resolved that the supervisors authorized upon approval of the town insurance provider and approval as in the form by the town attorney to sign the contract for 2012, 2013, 2013, 2014, and 2014 and 2015 for snow and ice seasons dated June 25th, 2012 with the Clinton County for snow removal, sanding, and treating county roads for the 2012 through 2015 season, based on the number of miles and rates according to said agreement. Excuse me. And it is further resolved that the Town of Plattsburgh agrees to comply with the terms and condition of said agreement, and the county of Clinton shall pay the town in 2 installments each year the sum of $4,642 per mile for regular roads and $5,662 per mile for snow belt roads during the 2012-2013, and $4,794 per mile for regular roads, and $5,832 per mile for snow belt roads during the 2013. 2014, and $4,938 per mile for regular roads and $6,007 per mile for snow belt roads during 2014-2015. And it may further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the budget officer and the superintendent of highways, Tim Woods.
Motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilor Wood,
Second.
and a second by Councilor Renadette. Any discussion?
Go ahead.
On Article 7 and jurisdiction, I think we should have it, if we have any disputes, settled by arbitration instead of determined by the Supreme Court, County Clinton. And I'd like to have our counselor talk with them and try to get that changed to that before we pass it.
Yeah, I think you're always 100% better with arbitration. Sometimes entities don't like arbitration, but usually it's, you can't appeal arbitration in general. It's speedy, you get the arbitrator in, and that's it. And you're not, getting into a protracted legal problem. So I will suggest that to Mr. Fabra, who is the county attorney, and hopefully get that inserted in the agreement, and we'll take a look at it.
And as always happens, I got one more for you, Jim, that maybe we need to consider. I guess I need to stop reading this.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea, probably.
If the price of salt were to skyrocket like it did a few years back, we have no protection here. We have in here, the county is, abrasive should be applied at 750 pounds of abrasive per mile per lane. It tells us how much they expect us to apply, but there's no leeway in there for the next 3 years. Should the bottom fall out of the salt market and it skyrocket, what protection is there to keep us from having to renegotiate this? I think we need to have something in there saying that, should the cost of something like salt increase, we would like the opportunity to renegotiate this.
We certainly can ask for that. I don't know any more than they might argue that what if the price of salt declines, can they renegotiate it and pay it less?
I'd be willing to accept that if they'd be willing to accept the alternative, because
Yeah.
I think the price is gonna go up more far before it goes down.
It's sort of been the tradition.
Maybe we should work on just doing a one-year agreement each year, because the other factor that you haven't talked about is diesel fuel. If
Yeah.
the price of diesel fuel goes
Except
way up,
that,
it's.
except that whenever the highway superintendent's been questioned about whether or not it's feasible to do this, he says, we cross most of those roads anyways to get to town roads, so it's just a matter of putting the plow down. That's all well and true as far as traveling the roads and putting the plow down, but when you're bound to have a certain amount of abrasive, salt, sand put down, that's a variable that is not taken into account.
But one thing you could, I think it always gets tricky. You can say if the salt goes up 10% and then, or if the fuel oil goes up 10%, then gets kind of complicated. We could ask for a one-year agreement. I don't know if they would agree to that, but that would certainly, mitigate that problem.
Well, I would move that we table this resolution 214 until we get some answers for some of these questions. And you haven't had a chance to check with your attorney. So I'll move to table.
We have a motion that the resolution be tabled. Do we have a second on that? Seconded by Councilor Lamoy. Roll call on motion to table.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Paul Moy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes?
Table.
Do you have any more hidden ones in there?
Well, I don't know, I'm trying to find the end of this agreement.
If you do, you're gonna have to let us know, because
Okay.
I don't think we
That's the last resolution that I have. Anyone have anything else to bring before the body? We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So we'll,
Motion made by Councilor Wood,
Second.
and seconded by Councilor Renadette. Discussion, roll call.
Thomas Wood,
yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes?
Paul Moy,
Yes.
Gerard Renadette.
Yes.
Let the motion show that at 7 o'clock.